Okay, ji, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, students, time's up, and the daily time would be 12:30, and not more than that. Okay, 12:30 will be the time. Okay, I'm waiting for you to be live. Okay, ji, we should wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Otherwise, I will start the lesson because the maximum time for the wait is 2 minutes. And after those 2 minutes, I would start my lecture, and the students who would be there would be listening to me, and other students would miss the lecture. Okay. Emerging literature, there's name, there's here, find here, I find here, but device is not connected. Correct your devices, please. Adjust your devices, adjust your volume, adjust your camera, and drop a message in the group that our class is live now. Drop a message, please, in the group. And who is there in the studio? Javeri Abbas. Okay, Javeri Abbas, you can also join us there on the live session there on the YouTube. So you should go there, jump to that, because you would copy that link and paste that in the WhatsApp group, and it would be easy for other students who are not so much efficient in technology to join that group. So please copy that link directly and paste that in WhatsApp group. It would be easy for other students. Okay, other students should include Adil Abbas and Madani, Faraz Madani. They are quick in technology, so they should come first, I think. We hope that they would lead the class as far as the technological matters are concerned, so they should not keep themselves away from the lecture. Even they should be here on 12:25. Yes, the link that I think you have copied there is of Studio. You should not copy or paste the link of Studio, StreamYard, not of this one, but you should copy the link of YouTube channel, URL from your YouTube channel, and then paste that in the group so that our students would go directly on the YouTube, and they shouldn't be here in the group, in the studio. The students who should be in the studio are GR and CR if that's needed. Otherwise, they should also exclude themselves and jump to the live stream. The people who are in our stream, they are Anila, Adil Abbas, Ghulam Jelani, Noor Mustafa Khan. They are live in our session because they are commenting and their attendance is marked. But the live students at the time are two, what I can see. And Javiria, you are again here in the studio. Please join us there on the YouTube directly. If you want to talk to me, then you should be here. A person who wants to talk to me, let's be here. Anam, please go there on the YouTube direct link. We'll join there. Okay, I think 6 or 7 students are there, and as soon as they get to the number of 5, we will jump to our lesson, because there's shortage of time always, because other online classes are due for me for FSC and for semester 2 and 4 and 6. They are also waiting for me, so please be quick so that we would complete it in time. So there are 4 students, and Shuja Pasha is there. Thank you so much. You are joining us for the the very first time. Anila, you're also for the first time here. I think you missed the lecture yesterday. Okay, we will have a glance at the previous lecture as well. Ghulam Jelani, you are welcome here. And Noor Mustafa Khan, that's with other name. Mahnoor Majid is also there. Okay, keep yourself connected on YouTube, please, and listen to me carefully. Okay, let's start our topic. Let me share the screen and then I will jump to your topic. Okay, let me share the screen. There's the screen. Okay, I leave a message if you can see the screen here, so that okay, I hope that now you can see the screen, my computer screen. Javeri Abbas is there, Saeed is there. Okay, their attendance is fine, but stay connected because there are some people who come once there on the YouTube channel and then they mark their attendance, and after that they are not no more. So be connected all the time because it's very short session of 25 minutes or 30 minutes. Faraz Madani is late a bit, so be quick, Faraz Madani, because you are technology efficient. You should be there before all other students. Say, yes, I can see the screen. That's good. These comments are very useful for me, very beneficial for me. So you should keep yourself connected with these comments. And if there is some important talk or question, then you should come up here in the studio. I have also pasted the link of the studio there in our group, so you can join the studio if you have some important talk to me to discuss upon. Okay, now the screen is shared and let's talk about the topic. We were talking about cinematography. You can see here I have increased the font as well. Cinematography, we started from here. What is cinematography? That is scientific knowledge of cinema, that how the cinema is conducted all over. So that's from the origin or the stem is Kain and Graphos. Grapho means writing, graphics, that's relevant to writing skills, and Kain means movement. We know it already. We discussed the things yesterday, and what were the things we discussed yesterday. That's important. Principles of cinematography, that's pretty important. The question that has appeared once in your papers as well. You will see that when we would go through past papers, you will see this question there, that rule out 5 principles of cinematography. So we discussed this question yesterday and we are continuing the same question today as well. And that can be the other question as well, that maybe in the shape of other questions. So principles of cinematography, numerous things contribute that are necessary. So principle means the things that are necessary for something. They are called principles of that thing. So cinematography, pre-production and post-production. We discussed the script is included in cinematography or pre-production development. That's script is the first stage of cinematography. Once the writer has written down the script, then we go for a movie, for a film. So be that existing script, a book. There can be a book in shape of script, as we have talked about Raja Gid, that if you can make a movie on that or make a drama on that, or on the writings of Ishfaq Ahmed, so there is book always, Zawiya, with the name of Zawiya or some other names, Ek Mohabbat So Afsane. So you can have that book and write a drama on that. So that is called script. A script may be in shape of a book or in the shape of pages. There's new script and that's not published already. So a writer writes the script of that film first. That's the first stage in film writing or cinematography. Okay, there is some message, I think. Let me see that if there is someone in the studio. No, there is no one in the studio. Okay, you can see, that's great. There are new people as well. Welcome to the session. Okay, let's go back to our lecture. So there's the first stage, the script. Important things are highlighted, budget and schedule. So this is pre-production stage, that we discuss budget and schedule before making a movie, because because that's very important. Everything is dependent on that budget and schedule, on that budget especially, because there's Marxism and there is nothing complete without budget. So money is important, not only important but very important in filmmaking as well, because we can purchase the performances of great performers, great artists, on the basis of money. How can we pay? That's important. So there's pre-production stage. Before going to producer, we should set all these things. Communication is the key between directors, between producers, between actors, performers, music directors, musicians, and all other things, So editing is very important thing in this stage. That's during the movie stage, we can say music and sound design. Film stocks we have discussed as well. They're similar to the still photography. Cinematography utilizes rolls of films. We have talked about it. And what is else that we have talked about up till now? That's we would be starting from here, the lab. Okay, the lab. There's a laboratory work can also offer considerable things. Okay, let me adjust my volume. I think there is some interruption. Let me set that. Okay, let's join together. Let me set my devices. There was an interruption here. Okay, Basit Ali is also present here. Welcome. Okay, Jay. Now we are starting the topic of today, the lab. Laboratory, that's the right pronunciation, laboratory, not laboratory. Laboratory work can also, there's the same compound noun. It doesn't mean laboratory works. Laboratory work can also offer a considerable variance in the image produced. Very important, obviously, lab is very important by such means as controlling the temperature, using different developing chemicals, diluting the developer differently, varying the time in which the film is treated in the development chemicals, or by skipping or altering certain chemical processes or partially skipping them. Cinematographers can achieve very different looks from a single film stock in the laboratory. Okay, that's very important. The effects that you find in the film that are mainly dependent on laboratory work, because if a temperature is not controlled and your film is developed, that's very unlucky for you if that's not good. That wouldn't give good colors. Sometimes the movies are not made in good temperature. Their color is faded, or their color is red, or sometimes that greenish. There are some old movies that we can see in 1970s or 1960s. They are more greenish than reddish. It means their chemical works are not good. So we can see that we can trace those movies in which laboratory works are not good. So although it's a bit of old stock that we are talking about, so now new things starts from now. There's filters. You know about filters. If you browse your camera features in your cell phones, you can find an option filters there as well, and you can filter your screen or your picture as well. You know about filters pretty well, because editing as well. If you open some picture in your photos or in a gallery, then there are options, and if you go to the options editing, there's crop option, filter option, and color setting and beauty options. So there you would find filters option. So what's that option does? Filters such as diffusion filters or color effect filters. So they give color effect, especially filters are for color effects, you can see, are also widely used to enhance mood or dramatic effects. Here we are concerned with the movie making, especially because we are talking about cinematography, the things that are relevant to cinemas, especially. So that's on miniature scale that I was talking about of your camera, about your cell phone camera. But the things are the same almost. They are widely, why they're used, those color effects, to enhance mood or dramatic effects. There's the lighting shades, the greenish light, reddish light, there's called filters. So they are important there as well. Okay. So they are there to enhance mood or dramatic effects. Most photographic filters are made of two pieces of optical glasses glued together. How they are made? They are made like that, with some form of image or light manipulation material between the glass. In the case of color filters, there is often a translucent color medium pressed between two planes of optical glass. Color filters work by blocking out certain color wavelengths of light from reaching the film. You would read that through. There are scientific things. So they are not so much concerned with your literary effect, but you must know about filters, that how they are made and how they are set, what is their function in camera or movie making. They are there to enhance or improve your mood or to give dramatic effects on your movie. Another filter called a fog filter, you must know about it. Fog filter, you know, there are so many filters in your camera mobile as well. There are fog filters produce an overall effect. Okay, let me see whether you are listening to me carefully or not. There is a Adil Abbas option, comment, that's buffering. Please show the document from where you are reading. If you can't see that document, I can see, I can't see, or I can see, I can't see. Okay. Etasham, welcome. Even now the screen is shared, so why can't you see that? Okay, let me show that again. Let me stop and share the screen again. Now you can even listen the click of my mouse as well. Okay, now you can see. Now, can you see? Just leave a comment and tell me this is the document from where I was reading. Filters. Just leave a comment. Let me read that. No? Even no? Yes, yes, okay. Now Adil Abbas says we can see. That's great. Okay, let me be more clear. Okay, yes. Now we should go on. Okay, the filters are for color effect, especially photographic effects. Most photographic filters are made up of two pieces of optical glasses. They're scientific things, that how the filters are made in your camera or in the DSL cameras, DSLR cameras, especially because mobile cameras are quite in miniature scale. That's camera, that's not the camera that are used professionally. So we are talking about professional things, that how that's made, how does it function. Color filters work by blocking out certain color wavelengths of light from reaching the film. Another filter called a fog filter. Okay, fog filter, that gives an effect of fog. You can see that in your camera as well, because there's so many options in cell phones as well. But before the introduction of these things, these were quite rare things, and that's very expensive and costly things in DSLR cameras. Certain other devices also called filters but produce an optical effect. So what is the usage or function of those filters? That optical effect, that your eye can enjoy the scenes, the different shades of the same thing. So this is the task of the filters. If you have some image editor or video editor or image editor, you can see everything there in the filters, that how does it change the mood as well. So the next option, that is lens. Okay, lens. As in the human eye, the lens focuses rays of light to form an image. Okay, this is the definition of lens. You can write your own definition as well. Even now you can't see Javeria Abbas. You can't see the screen. Just what's the task? Why? Now just leave a comment if there's the document. This is the document. Can you see this document or not? Just leave a quick comment here. I'm waiting for the comment. Yes, sir. Sir, please show your screen. Yes, we can. Adil Abbas is saying that he can see the screen, but all others are saying that they can't. Javidia, you are here. If you are here for some talk, please adjust your volume, adjust your hands-free there in the loop. Otherwise, I can't listen to you because your device isn't connected. Your devices are not connected. If you can adjust your hand-free, then I can listen to you. Now we can. Mahanur says, okay, now I think the issue is resolved. Okay, let me go to the topic. Okay, lens. There's the definition of lens that you can see here. As in the human eye, the lens focuses rays of light to form an image. Okay, that's the definition. Although they all make images, lens vary a great deal in their characteristics. Their costs is different. Obviously, there are very costly lens, there are very low cost, inexpensive and cheap rated lens as well. Their uses, they are different in their uses, and the results they can produce, they are also different, dependent upon their costs, upon their uses. Good photographers, both good photographers, both still photographers and cinematographers. They are videographers, they are also called sometimes. Learn a great deal about what different lenses are available, what characteristics each lens has, and what results it can produce on the film. Whether it is still camera film or motion picture film, the camera and its lens does what the human eye does. So they are quite same with the humanized lens. You can compare them both, and you can write half of the page about lenses. So that's the third thing that we will discuss here in our session: aspect ratio and framing. That's all we are talking about camera. Okay, let's begin our next topic. I hope you are listening to me quite clearly and you are with me. How many topics up till now we have done? Just leave a comment what we have done. Yes, what was the first topic that we discussed? What was the first heading rather? Leave a comment, quick. The first thing that we discussed during the lecture now, what was that? Not a comment even now. What was the first topic that we discussed? Okay, we had a glance over the topic that we discussed yesterday. And what more? Filters, very good. That was the first one, first heading that we discussed. And what was the second one? Pre-production and post-production. That was about yesterday. And the first thing that we discussed today is filters. And the second one, that is, we were just stopped talking about Javeria Abbas. That's correct. That is the first thing, filters, and there's the second thing, lens. Okay, very good. And the third thing, just write down here. What's the third thing that we are just going to discuss? What is that third thing? editors also. Okay, that was a sub issue. Lens and filters and lens. Okay. Anila Siddiq sensor aspect ratio. Yes, aspect ratio. That's we would start right now. Aspect ratio and formation. Aspect ratio. Okay, G, let's go to aspect ratio and framing. It simply means that what should be the height of the image or the film, and what should be the width of the frame of the film. Okay, the aspect ratio of an image is the ratio of its width to its height. Okay, J, it means a ratio of height and width. Its definition of aspect ratio and framing. Let's talk about its history first. Beginning in the 1910s. 1910s means 1911, 12, 13, 14, early 1910s. Motion picture settles on a ratio of 4 to 3. You know 4 to 3 ratio. 4 to 3 ratio. 4 units wide means width is always before the height. Okay, 4 units wide to 3 units high. It means 4 to 3. Often written as 4 to 3. You might have seen in your camera as well, in your mobile camera, 4 to 3 ratio of some image. This ratio may be reduced to 1.33 to 1 ratio. This is the width and this is the height. Okay. As I have said, width comes first and height comes second. And this aspect ratio is commonly known as 1.33. The introduction of sound on film narrowed the past aspect ratio briefly before Academy ratio of 1.37 was introduced in 1932. This was quite new. ये नया रेशो इसलिए हुआ था, इसकी वजह मैं तुम्हें बता दूं कि if I can show you on the YouTube that what was the aspect ratio of the old films, that one thing I should clear, and that is that sound films were introduced. That's important. Sound films. Before that, you must know that there were silent films. There were silent films. There were just images moving quite quickly, and there was no sound at all. So the first movie that was introduced was without sound, without audio. You couldn't listen anything from that video. That video was without any kind of sound effects. That was just about, first of all, you must know that first of all, before movie making, a commentary was introduced, a very, very short commentary, a very, very short documentary was introduced on the first stage, and then the movies were introduced, but those were silent movies without any kind of audio effect. And after that, the audio effects were introduced in the movies. So we made that thick lines around that cinematic effect. For years, cinematographers were limited to this shape of image, 1.37. But in the 1950s, thanks to the unanticipated popularity of Cinerama, widescreen ratios were introduced. Widescreen ratios were introduced in 1950s. You must remember the year. Widescreen. That's cinematography screen, cinema screen. You also know about cinema screen now. Some dramas and plays are also made and developed in the cinema screen. You know pretty well. In an effort to pull audiences back into the theater, and the audience was pulled back to the theater. They enjoyed theater in shape of cinema and away from their home television sets. Otherwise, they were comfortable with their television sets. But as soon as widescreen ratios are introduced, the audience went back to the cinema, and new audiences can be found there. So these new widescreen aspect ratios granted cinematographers a wider frame within which to compose their images. Now let's have a look what about the screen ratio I have talked about yesterday as well. 3 units height, okay, 4 units wide, okay, very good. And that's about the cell phone. And the cell phones are also bigger nowadays, and you can enjoy a wide screen there on your cell phones as well. So tell me, what's the aspect ratio of your cell phone if that's in landscape form, not in the form of height scaled or in portrait form, but in landscape form? What's the ratio of your image or movie? Tell me, what's the aspect ratio of your cell phone? Aspect ratio means stop sharing the screen and let me show you. This is now you can see the cell phone. This is portrait form, okay, but it is not preferred that you would make a movie like this because you can't adjust that on Facebook page or some other places on YouTube. But yes, that's great. And this is the right one. If you are going to make a movie, then you can do that like that. That's preferable for YouTube, for YouTubers, for Facebook page. This style is good enough, okay? So you should use that style. So aspect ratio is 4, 3, and 16 and 9. Okay. Basically, the things are quite reversed. You have written down quite correctly 7, 16, 9, and 4, 3. That's correct. Very good. You know a bit about these things. Manur Mustafa, you can adjust that 6 and 3, but normally it is not so. You can adjust everywhere. Okay, let me show that. Let me show that practically. Okay. This and Bandicam. Where is Bandicam? You can see that here as well in my software. If I go there, okay. Now let me share the screen and show you. Share screen, okay. This you can see here. Okay, there are the things. Select area 320 to 40. That is called 4:3. 320 by 240. That is called 4:3. Okay, that's very smaller one, I think, and that's not preferred. What is preferred is there 480 to 68. That is called 16 and 9. 16 width and 9 height. 16 width. It means that you can put your camera in landscape form. Okay. 480, 360, that is also called 4:3, 16:9. That's a very popular one, and you can customize the size as well. Okay, let me go here in another software, and you can see that ratio quite clearly there. Okay, here. That would be quite clear for you to do that. Okay, if I go there and not, I should be here first. There's filters, and there's the sizes you can see here: 4:3, 5:4, 7:5, and 16:9. Okay, that's 16:9. You saw what's the difference? You can see here what's the difference did it make, that there is area that it left. If I show you more properly, get it white. Okay, now this is the area you can see here, that is 16:09. Then I can increase its size. Otherwise, if I reduce that size, then what will happen? This will happen. And suppose it is 4:3. If I want to adjust it 4:3. Now that's shorter one. You can see that's shorter. It's quite shorter. 4 is this, that's width, and height is 3. Okay, and if I increase, what happens? It happens. And this is landscape. Okay, this is landscape style. If I get it portrait, it is portrait. Portrait means that your height is more than landscape mode. Okay, your height is more, you can see here, height is more than width. If I 4:3 and if I landscape, it means that width is more in landscape, width is more than your height. Okay, 4 inches width and 3 inches height. It's landscape. You can see here, written down here, landscape, and it is portrait. Okay, it's landscape. Let me show you more clearly. 16:9. It is 16:9. It is landscape, and portrait means this. When your mobile phone isn't standing way, that is portrait. Okay, that height is greater than your width. That is portrait. And what about landscape? That is width is more than your height. That is landscape style. Okay, you can see 16:9. If I increase that, then it is okay for our YouTube thumbnail. Now I can adjust it, try it like this, but even now there is something that is missing here. I would adjust it afterwards. Now I think the point is clear. 16:9 means that is in landscape view. Okay, it was why that I was saying that you are saying quite reverse things. You know already, but the point is clear now. Okay, Ji. Now we should return to our lecture. The next topic that we'll be sharing tomorrow, inshallah, that is lighting. Okay, lighting in cinematography. We have discussed filters, lens, and aspect ratio, and we will continue with lighting. Hopefully the things are quite clear now. Thank you so much, students. If you have some question, do ask me here. I am stopping the screen to be shared. Okay, now any question? There are 2 minutes for your questions, for your queries. I would show your question here in comment section so that other people would be clear about your question and my answer. So leave a answer in comment section, please. I'm waiting for your question. Any question about the topic or that's excluding the topic as well, please tell me. Yes, any question that you can have in your mind, do ask me. Yes, be quick, be active. Always be active in your classroom because it needs more activity and more activeness. I can only mark your attendance by your activeness. If you didn't leave any comment here, then I can't mark your attendance, please. I know the names now, that who the people are active there and the people who are not active in live sessions. I can mark them quite easily. So please be active and leave a question here as a last comment. If there is no comment, please tell me. So how long have you been using Bandicam? Bandicam I have been using for a long time. No question up till now. Dilabas, I've been using that for a long time. For I don't know how many months, but 5 to 6 months I think I have been using that. But that's free version is for 1 month, but you should use other ways to use that. Otherwise that's not free. That's on payment, I think. Basically, no question. Topics, no question. Up till now, topics, no question, no question. There is also a question. Etasham Jamil, no question, but I'm waiting for some question. If you can put here in your comment box. Not at all. Yes, CR and GR. CR is always absent and GR is always there. So GR may ask any question about the management of the group, about WhatsApp group, about this forum, there's live classes, and about the people who can't join us here. Yes, OBS is very good, but you would teach me how to use that. I had that in my computer for a long time, but after that, after making exhaustion on that, and no one was there to make me learn, to teach me, so I removed that from my computer. For live stream, that is also better. Okay, Adil Abbas, I will talk to you. Please give your phone number personally, inbox me on WhatsApp, and then I would ask you about that software, and I would use that for live streaming as well. That's great. And the other option is restream as well, and be live as well, be live. So there are so many options, but if you say that's good one, so you can give an option for that for me. OBS is a good one as far as screen sharing is concerned. Okay, Javiria, if you have some issue, please ask me here in comment section so that other class would see that also. What about those people who can't join us here? What about those people? What about those 15 people or 10 people? Should I record another lecture for them for 5 to 6 minutes about the same topics and post them on WhatsApp group so that they can also be with us? Although that kind of education would not be so effective, or that wouldn't be so efficient, I think that's not good for learning, but something is better than nothing. So I would post also 4 to 5 minutes lecture there as well. Yes, but you can learn that usually for 1 or 2 days you can give, and then you can teach me as well OPS, because I have some fear about using that. Otherwise, if I can go for that for 1 or 2 days, I can learn that as well. But I feel quite at ease here in StreamYard, so I'm using that. But after 1 or 2 days, I think I would switch to Restream, and you would enjoy that. Okay, you try that and please ask me to use that as well. Okay, Javiria, no question. I think you are here or not? Sir, they have a network issue, but network issue might be for 1 or 2 days, but not for always. I know our even there on live sessions, there are people who are from rural areas, but they can also come up here. They also come up here. So signal problems is not a great problem, and that's not for always. That's for 1 or 2 days maximum, and after that signal problem is solved. But if they are ambitious, they can join us here. But if they are not ambitious, doesn't matter. They would enjoy WhatsApp session. Okay, that's why they can join the class. Okay, that's good. I would post 4 to 5 minutes lecture on WhatsApp group as well. Okay, my dear student, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, for sharing your comments here, and sharing your thoughts here. We'll be meeting on the same time, 12:30 tomorrow, inshallah. Thank you. Till then, stay happy, stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.